Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I'm gonna give you 10 tips for you to play better in a blues environment. There's no hard rules. This is not the way you should do it. This is just the way I think you can get better at playing blues. But this is not like a Bible of the blues. It's my way of thinking about the blues, and I'm trying to give you some inspiration and some starting points. So take all the concepts that I gave you and explore it and make it your own. That's the most important thing. So first, if you want to play blues, you should know the blues structure. And the blues structure is usually simple. It goes from 1 to 3 chords. The simple basic blues. Of course, there are tons of harmonic variations, but the most simple blues is just the one chord. Okay, one chord and you're it. John Lee Hooker style, but John Lee Hooker is a lot more boogie, so the rhythm is different. And that's it all night long. And that's one thing. Then you have the regular blues, which has the 1, 4, and 5 chords. So they are all major with minor 7, which makes them really usable and really, you can almost play anything on top of it. The regular blues has 12 bar, usually, a 12 bar blues, and that's what we'll be approaching. That's what I played in the intro. And in the intro I played the 1 chord for 1 bar, then the 4 chord for another bar, and then the 1 chord for 2 bars. That makes the first 4 bars. Then in the second 4 bars I play 2 bars with the 4th chord, 2 bars with the first chord. And in the last line of 4 bars, I play 1 bar on the 5, 1 bar on the 4, 1 bar on 1, sorry, half bar on 1, half bar on 4, half bar on 1, half bar on 5. So it's 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 4. So the 2 bars, and now 2 bars in 1. 1, 1 again. 5, 4, and now half 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 5, and we're back again. So this is the simple a simple blues and a simple blues progression. First thing you need to know is the progression. If you don't know how to play the harmonic contact in a blues, you're lost, because all goes into these three chords. And remember, there's a lot more harmonic changes than this simple thing I've shown you. But this is not a tutorial on how to play blues. It's just some tips to make you play better. Please let me know if you want me to go further and to explain you even more deep into the theory. So this is just a super superficial approach with just ideas, not rules of thumb. Okay. So know your blues structure. Know when the chord is changing, because the chord is your friend. So you have the second tip you have is knowing the minor pentatonic. So it's okay, minor pentatonic. Every guitar player knows it. And there's a lot of forms into the minor pentatonic. So you have this one, which is my basic one. Then I have the extensions below it. And I have the extensions above it. Okay, and then I have my second box, pentatonic box, which is in the A string as a tonic. And then I have the extension. Okay, and then okay, using it. Then if you know the minor pentatonic, you will also know the major, because the minor pentatonic has its tonic here, the major has its tonic here on the second note of the pentatonic. So if you want to play A minor pentatonic, you just start on A. If you want to play A major pentatonic, instead of starting on A, you have your second note is an A, so you'll be on F sharp. So F sharp minor is the same as A major, because they are relative to one another. So this is the major scale. Okay, and then you have all the other forms. So tip number 2, minor pentatonic. Tip number 3, major pentatonic. Tip number 4, timing. Blues is usually played on a 12/8 bar. So what does it mean? Well, it means you have 12 divisions in each bar. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 is one bar. Instead of dividing the bar with eights, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You will divide it with threes. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And that's where the shuffle comes in. There's a 1, 2, 3 in here. There's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So whenever you make a break or you want to accentuate something, you will, if you play it in threes, Okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Conta, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Remember this because you'll need to do it. The groove of the song will make you play real better. You don't need to play a lot of notes. You just need to play with the rhythm of the song, with the feeling, with the groove. That's timing. Timing makes your playing a lot better, a lot more interesting than if you play out of time. It seems super obvious, but I see a lot of people forgetting that. Like, hit the snare, hit the kick with your note. So if the kick is playing boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, those are your sweet spots. So hit the note like boom, 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 ba, boom, 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 ba, boom, boom. Play with the drummer. Take the drummer and make it your ally. So whenever you hit a note, if there's a snare on it, bah, your note will be super loud, super punchy, and it seems that you have that punch, but it's the drums giving you that punch. So play with the drummer. Wait for the snare. Wait for the kick. Don't play in between always. So wait for those notes. Those are the boom, ba, boom, ba. Those are the notes. Those are your guidelines. Then in between, you can feel it like 2, 3, 4. Okay? So timing is super critical when playing blues. It's critical when playing anything, any style of music. But remember this, play with timing. Timing is your vibrato is also a super important thing. The B.B. King vibrato, the super famous B.B. King vibrato. So vibrato makes you play, makes you have feeling, and it's your personality. Everyone does the vibrato differently, and it is one of the things that make you sound like you sound. So even when you bend, this is one thing, bending and staying there, but bending with vibrato. But don't overdo it. Vibrato is a tool, not a defect. So don't do it all the time. Do the vibrato when it's needed, when you feel it. Use it as a special thing. Use it as your special thing. Don't use it in every situation. Otherwise, it will get boring. Okay? So another tip is bendings or slide. What do I mean about that? If you have a minor pentatonic, okay, this is your map, your road map, but it doesn't mean you need to play exactly these notes. So, for example, in the blues, when you're playing, especially when you're playing on top of the first chord, you might play the minor third of the minor pentatonic, and kind of take it to the major third. But you don't need to take it there. The listener will imagine that way. So if you just bend a little bit out of tune, you will stay between the minor third and the major third, and that's the blues thing. Instead of you see, I applied the bending and then the vibrato on the resting note. It makes it sound a lot better. This sounds like an exercise. this sound like music. Am I right? So the bendings are super important and super useful in the blues, and they are a part of it. So every note, like, and the slide goes along with it. So instead of playing the note immediately, like, you can play it so you never hit the note right in. You hit it from above or from beneath, and then you one or down. You're not right there. That's a lot like singing. Usually singers don't hit the note perfectly. That sounds like a keyboard. Usually singers go from above the note or from beneath. One. You know what I mean? And then they vibrate it. So they do the vibrato thing when they hold the note. So it's a defense. If you do a note with vibrato, you're never in tune or out of tune. You're going around it. Okay, so that's another tip. So the slide and the bending is super useful in the blues. Especially in those days where they had real heavy, real thick strings, bendings were super difficult in the early days. So instead of bending like super high bendings like two tones bendings, they would do like real small bendings, playing in E. Real small bendings. Usually when I want to play sloppy, like John Lee Hooker or like the early blues guys, instead of bending with my usual bending finger, which is the third one, I try to bend with the second one, which is not as strong and not as precise, and bend it with the first two. So it makes it that sloppy but that gritty blues. And also, with the slide and the bending comes the hammer on. So the hammer on is also a great tool. Another great rule of thumb is play the tonic. If you're playing a blues in A, play A all the time. That's your security, that's your net. And that's how B.B. King did it. He usually, the famous B.B. King note, she's playing the highest tonic he can get. So the highest A in this case he can get. So if I'm playing the blues in A, the intro blues, All right, so the tonic, and here's the Albert Collins. It's playing the tonic, and everyone does it in his own manner. But you can play a blues with just a tonic, and it fits. Of course, in a slow blues like this I have here in the loop, it's super boring because it's too long, and you're playing just one note. But if you play a fast blues, let me record it for you. Just the one. So, okay, and okay, it's simple. It's super simple. This leads us to another tip, which is popping the strings. What do I mean about popping? Popping is the technique of the bass when you slap and pop. So a lot of blues players like Albert King, for example, played it like. This is a great technique because it makes the strings a lot brighter. It makes a super different tone. And usually when I play the blues, I also hit the strings very hard. Like. Remember, those guys in the old days, they were usually hand labor guys. So they were very strong in their hands and very brutal. And that's the gimmick of the blues. That's the thing of the blues, like hitting the note. It's not a lot of notes. It's just the perfect note and hitting it with all your soul and heart. That's what it means. You need to hit the note. Bring the note to life. One note is better than a lot of notes. One great note is better than a lot of notes. So make it alive. Make that note interesting. Make it sing. Okay? Popping the strings. So there's all in here. Bending, vibrato, popping, okay, hitting the notes hard. Another suggestion is the chromatic use. So if you have the chord notes, okay, your basic chord notes, you can play chromatically into it. So adding chromatic notes makes you sound a lot like blues, because it's. So I'm moving from the 7, major 7, 8. There's the classic Blue Monk. It's a chromatic game. The last tip is play within the chord. So if you're playing a minor pentatonic, the resting note should be on one of the notes of the chord. So if I'm ending up on top of an A major, I should, although the major third is not on the minor pentatonic, if I end it up there, it's great. And then when I go to the 4, the note that is a major third, so the C sharp, which is a major third of the A chord, becomes major 7 of the 4. So I need to make it half tone down. So it can be the 7, the flat 7. So if I do a phrasing like, when I go to the 4, so I end up on the chords notes, which makes it a lot more interesting. I can use the minor pentatonic all the way and then change it just a little bit. So when I'm in the 4, I can play this note from the minor pentatonic, but I can add a 6, which is a third of the 4. So I have it. You have a new color immediately that fits perfectly the chord. So that's a great tip. And another bonus trick, and the last one, create yourself a theme. When you're improvising, when you're soloing on top of a blues, when you're playing a blues, create a theme. Don't play all the blues in the same blues. If you're doing a riff like, stick with it until the song ends. Don't change it. Don't go and then otherwise you're playing all the blues in the same blues, and it makes no sense. When you go to play the second blues, you have already done it. So create a theme, even with the melodic thing, even improvising. Don't do all the tricks. Don't do all the same tricks over and over and over the blues. Leave some specific things for some specific blues. Even if you decide it in the moment, you don't need to prepare at home, but choose carefully. Don't use always the same words. Otherwise, you are always eating spicy food, even if it is dessert. So be aware of it and create a theme for your blues. Well, that's it. Hope this has been helpful to you. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it with the world. Please let me know if you like this kind of video and if you want me to go further into tutorials and tips and playing and licks. I'll be more than happy to do it. As I say a lot of times, this is a community. This is not for me. I'm not doing it for my personal advantage. I'm doing it to share some of the knowledge I've acquired along the way. And I hope I can help you. I can give you new ideas, as a lot of people has helped me on the way. So please let me know if this is interesting to you, and we'll see each other next week.